So today is January the 7th, and I am kind of going overboard. I'm starting to go over Monday's homework. It was parallelograms and rectangles. Now, we started out by learning, if you were absent, that there is a specific formula that you have to use when you see a parallelogram or a rectangle. Okay. And it is A equals for area. We're finding the inside part, the whole part. A equals B times H. This is for rectangles and parallelograms. Okay. Now, finding the area means everything on the inside, that whole gray shaded area. If you look at the ceiling, it kind of means all the white ceiling tiles. If you look at the floor, it means all the white floor tiles. The difference is these on the ceiling are 2 by 2. They're big. Okay, 2 feet by 2 feet. So those are 4-foot ceiling tiles, square feet. The ones on the floor are 1 by 1s, like 1 foot by 1 foot. So they're 1 square feet of ceiling tile. Floor tile. Square feet is not like the best way I can say this is, when you're measuring something like a 2x4 or a piece of wood, it's just a stick. It's a straight line. And you're measuring it and you get 12 inches. Okay. But when you're doing area, it has 2 walls that we're multiplying. And when we multiply those 2 walls, we get all the inside also. Because it's 2-dimensional. It has 2 sides we multiply. That is also why, we're going to put the little squared sign. And that's just something we got to learn. Okay, now filling in the formula. Once you've decided what shape and what formula to use, take your shape and find the base and the height. The base and the height should always be at a 90-degree angle, a perfect L. So looking at this one, my base is this bottom line. This could be your base also, that top line. It doesn't matter. But the reason I know it's my base is my height is always going to be between those 2 parallel lines at a 90-degree angle. So my base is 4. Do y'all see the little 4 blocks? Okay, and my height is 3. And it is multiply, like base times height on all these so far. Okay, it is going to be called units, and we put squared. The reason it's just units is they didn't give us inches or feet or yards. So we got to just call it units. Okay, we good so far? Okay, these first 6 I know are decently easy. Okay, number 8. It is a parallelogram that's kind of just been turned. If you need to turn the paper, who cares? Okay? Find that L. Where is that base at? Which one's my base? Okay, which one's the dotted line for the height? 4. Okay, so which one's my base? 12. You got it. 12 is, okay, your base. If you think about like cheerleading or something, it's the base is always the bottom. Okay, well the only difference is on that shape, they gave you the number up here. But if you think about it, this is the same length as this. The top is the same as the bottom. So I've kind of made them both orange. Like that is the same length as that. So that's my base. And then that thing's my height. A lot of times the height is going to be next to the dotted line. Okay, not too bad. 12 times 4, 48. I look over, this one's meters, and it's always squared because it's 2-dimensional, or 2 numbers. Okay, number 9. Number 9 to me, I've already written on this page. I wish I hadn't. It has 3 sides, or 3 numbers. And you got to decide which one doesn't matter. And unfortunately, I've already written on this one. Okay, you want to find, you see it's a parallelogram, so you know the formula is this. But you only need a base and a height. So if you're looking at it like, I know this is my base, but what measurement would be straight up and down? Straight up and down. That 9 is the one that is straight up and down. Not that number. If you use 12 or 12 point, whatever that is, that is the tricker. That is the length of that wall, and that wall is not straight. It's a little crooked. So you don't want to use that one. So you want to use the 8, you want to use the 9, and it is 72 centimeters squared. Okay? So the first thing they're or I guess the first challenge is, can you figure out the base and the height and get rid of the tricker? Everybody good so far? Okay. Go into the next 3. To me, these are kind of too easy, but that's okay. 10, 11, and 12, they just gave you the base and the height, so you would write the formula, fill it in. Okay, guys, if you tomorrow walk in and say 10 is 24, it is wrong. I need the whole formula. Okay, I need all 3 steps. I'm trying to kind of give y'all advice, but number 11 is base times height, 12 times 15.
Wait, so we didn't have to draw the shape?
No, you don't have to draw it. At least not yet. No, you don't have to draw it. 180. And I'm going to give you a hint that a lot of times, well, we don't usually draw them, but if you needed to, okay, you can never write in your book. Does that make sense? Okay. But if you needed to draw on the shape, let's say you wanted to doodle on it and figure out which one's the base and figure out which one's the height, you could trace it. Lay your paper on top and trace it out. I've done that before. Okay. You won't need to do that yet, but we're going to be doing some stuff in the future that sometimes I have to trace it out and kind of draw all over the shape, but we're not exactly there yet. So, okay, so 12. Base is 37, height is 22. Yesterday in my video, I did I did about half of these. I tried to do one of each of the hard ones to kind of help you out. Sometimes the video can help. I don't know. Okay, so those are the easy ones to me because they're just base times height. 13, 14 are the odd ones, really odd. 13 and 14 are the ones I got questions from parents on. I am begging you to pay attention to me right now. Okay. The reason I say it that way is, it is weird, okay? Everybody good? I'm trying. Okay. On 13 and 14, this is called a missing dimension question. Or a missing, like you're missing something, either the base or the height. So you've got to kind of look at the key words, which I've kind of already highlighted, but that's okay. There we go. Okay. Look at what they're saying, because as the days go on, I'm going to add more shapes. So starting out, when you read 13, it says, find the base of a parallelogram. That's the shape they're talking about. With an area of 24 square feet and height of 3 feet. So they're talking parallelogram and they're talking area. So what you need to do first is say, oh, then they want me to deal with this formula. But the difference is it's not filled out like the one before it. They gave me the height is 3 feet. And they gave me the area is 24. So area is 24. What I don't know is the base. The B is my variable. Yeah, my X, my variable, okay? It is my unknown. So if you kind of go back to what I taught you before Christmas, listen, I know you probably know the answer because you know 3 times 8. The problem is in a minute, they're not like obvious. Does that make sense? So I got to teach you how to do it in case it's not obvious. All I want to do is show you, before Christmas, we did equations. And our equation would be written something like this. And that number, 3, is up against the letter B. And we knew that meant times, multiply, right? Yeah, I'm hearing length times width, but it means 3 times B, right? And the whole goal here is, in algebra world, is to get B by itself. We're trying to figure out what is the base. So down here, I want us to be like, what is the base? Okay? How do I get rid of a times 3? Divide, yeah, divide by 3. And what we do to one side? We do to the other. That helps us get that it is 8, and it is feet. I know I can't write it in there, but I'm trying. And bases are just boring measurements, so it's 8 feet.
Couldn't we just divide the area by the 24 divided by 3?
Yes, just try to set it up with the equation, like with that formula. Yeah. My thing is, you're going to see the next one. They're not always so evident of a cute little multiplication table. Okay, the next one's got some decimals in it, and we just can't guess at it. So I got to kind of show you how to work it out when you don't know the exact answer, I guess. Okay, does that make sense a little bit? So look at 14, because I have no clue the answer 14. Like, I'd have to work it out. Okay, on 14, this one, they want us to find the height of a parallelogram. There we go, I'm trying to get it straight. Okay, of a parallelogram with the base of 6.75 meters and an area of 218.7 square meters. They want us to find the height. The height is our variable. It's our letter. Okay? Since they said parallelogram, there's our formula. Fill it in. Base 6.75. Area is 218.7. What I don't know is the height, the H. So if those are touching each other, it means multiply. The opposite is divide. Those get to go away, leaving me with H. But what I do to one side, do to the other. Now, I do need you, there's a few times here today where I really need you to practice your calculator use. When you key this, one second. Okay, when you put this in a calculator, one second, I can't. I'm getting a bad shadow because it's like the afternoon time. I need you to make sure you know how to put it in. Because you start at the top, 218.7. Make sure you find that decimal. 218.7. And divide by, I want you to see something. That it is a weird little fraction bar. It's not a division sign. Divide by, and then 6.75 equals. Okay? I have kids every year who don't do good on the test because they put it in the calculator wrong. So I want you to keep checking yourself with homework and practice in class. Okay, so 32.4, and it would be, I lost my thing, meters. And it's not squared because it's not an area. It is just a boring height. If you think about your height, when they say, whatever, I'm 5'4". Do they say squared? Thank God, no. I'd be like this big. What? No. You're just a length. Like you're just a height. if you measure the wall, you get whatever, 14 feet. The only time it's squared is when it's area. So if you're finding like a base or a height, it's just a boring measurement, is what I call it. Okay. Everybody good so far? Okay. The next two, I am excited to show you. And I'm begging you to hold a calculator in your hand right this second. One of my handy dandy, just so you can practice with me. Yesterday, we just didn't have enough time. I didn't have enough time to show you (9 1/4), meaning the base, times 18. Now, I realize you can still get the right answer by converting a fraction to a decimal. I'll go back and just say it, meaning I know 1/4 of a dollar. A dollar has 4 quarters, so 1/4 is 0.25. I could do 9.25 times 18, and I'll get the same answer. But it's time to show you the fraction button. And I am begging you right now to hold it and look at it. Here is why. Your parents are probably better than me, but I never learned this growing up because we didn't have these fancy calculators. We had the 4-function dollar store version. So I had to learn this like 3 years ago when they let us start using calculators. Your parents may not know how to put a fraction in this thing. Here we go. Learn it so you will make a good test grade. Okay, I'm going to have to type in 9 1/4 times 18. Okay, here we go. So, when you type in 9 1/4, I'm trying to make it where y'all can see everything, obviously. Okay, you hit the ABC button between the fraction numbers. That button right there, the third one down in the second row. Right there, ABC. Everybody see it on your calculator? Yes.
My brother taught me that one.
Good, 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 good. I just didn't have time yesterday. So, 9 1/4. Here's what you do. You go 9 ABC, 1 ABC, 4. You hit the ABC between each number. 9 ABC, 1 ABC, 4. You got it? Put it in your calculator. Times 18 equals thanks. If you're getting a syntax error, clear it out. Try it again. If it comes up syntax error, just clear it out and try again. So 9 ABC 1 ABC 4 times 18 equals, you got the same thing? Good. I'm trying to slide this over because I'm running out of room. When you write it, you cannot, I need you to learn this also. Next Friday on the test, you cannot bring me your calculator and say, how do I write this down? You got to know this part. Look at the number. It is 166 is your whole number. And then the fraction is at the end. That little u is a space. So it is 166 and 1/2. 1-2. 1/2. 1/2. I was trying to look at feet. Okay, feet squared. This is something we got to keep practicing on. I will make it a point to keep doing fraction questions in the next few days. Yes?
So, do we have to put that on the test, or can it be like a decimal?
You could do a decimal, that's fine. Totally good. Yes?
When you're doing 1.5, can you put 5?
0.5 for a half? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, if you've got this, hey guys, and I didn't mean to throw you off, but if you've got this, you are correct. This is correct. All it is a lot of kids change this to 9.25 times 18, which is the same thing. And that is fine. I just wanted to show you all the fraction button finally, because it's It will help you, a lot of you. Fraction test was not like your best concept because there was a lot of places to make mistakes. But if you can learn the calculator button now, we might do a little better. Does that make sense? Okay. So,
So, how do you do the dash again? Like, how do you do the dash?
that dash or these?
No, you added 9 dash something.
Okay, so what it is, it's 9 1/4, that fraction. So when I do it, I do 9 ABC, 1 ABC, 4.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? And then when I hit times 18 is when it comes up with that other thing. And I'll admit, to this day, and I've been using this calculator about 3 years now, I still put in fractions twice if it's an important assignment. Because there's a lot of button pushing that we could make wrong. Okay?
One accidental push into the next one.
Oh, yes. Or the wrong number, it gets bad. Yes. So it just takes practice. 16, I'm going to kind of work kind of fast here, just for the sake of time's sake. These questions, they kind of look silly because they look like math skills. It kind of looks like social studies, but they still want an area. Now, my base is up here, 48.75, times my height, which is 61.25. I kind of wish you guys would practice with me if you didn't do your homework right now, keying those numbers in. Because what's happened is, today, you got to put the decimal, 48.75, times 61.25 equals. When you get this big long number, you got to kind of know if you're getting the right answer or not. It shocked me. I mean, when I got the answer, I was like, ooh, am I right?
That's what I was too. I had to check it so many.
You do. So recheck it. Like, do it again. Make sure it's right. One thing I notice is that there's 4 numbers behind the decimal when I multiply. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's probably 4 numbers behind it. Another thing is, I personally don't, well, that didn't work. I don't usually round my answers because, I'll tell you, if I'm giving you a calculator, and all you got to do is copy some digits off the calculator, I just say we all write the whole thing. It's not that big a deal. To be honest, I'd rather copy than try to figure out rounding. So for right now, just write the whole thing out. It doesn't hurt. It's real quick. Okay? Now, 17 and 18. I'm going to do tomorrow, because I've done it with every other class. Tomorrow. What I'm going to do now is teach triangles. My question is this. Do we feel okay, decent with the like rectangle parallelogram, area equals base times height? Kind of. Okay. What it is we're starting triangle today. We're going to do 3 shapes. Well, 4 officially. But we do parallelogram and rectangle. Then we do parallelogram, rectangle. Then we do triangle today. And then we'll do trapezoids. Okay. I'm going to start out by kind of drawing you a picture. Because I want the camera, I want you to be able to see it. My drawing is not beautiful, and I know that. But when I was a kid, I always had trouble memorizing these formulas. This Friday, you have a quiz on the formulas. That quiz starts out by kind of just looking like this. We say the word, like we write the word rectangle. And then there's a box. And you write in that box the formula, which is A equals BH. Okay. Then, there might be triangle next, but let's pretend since it's yesterday's word, the next one might be parallelogram. Okay? And you would fill in that box. And you would put what? That is right. Because those two shapes, I drew a rectangle and then a parallelogram is just like a rectangle pushed over. The reason I'm kind of drawing this and saying this is triangles, which is the next thing we're going to learn today, have a formula that is just a drop different. It is base times height, but it's going to be divided by 2. Now, I want to show you why. I'm sure some math teachers showed me why when I was a kid, and maybe I wasn't paying attention or something. But when I was a kid, I could never remember the formula. Listen, if you take a rectangle or even a square and you cut it down this from corner to corner, you then have a triangle. You divided it in 2. I don't care if it's long and I do that. This is still half of it. Okay, I'm going to draw a few more. Even if it is like this, and I put a triangle like here in the middle, this part. Okay, listen, you don't have to draw these. I'm just showing you guys. You don't have to draw them, sorry. You can. This is half right there, like these two go together. And then this would go with that part. They're always half, even if they're crookedy. I don't know another word for it. If they're not a regular triangle. Okay, so let's say you have something like this. I'm just not the best at drawing this one. Okay, so let's say this is your triangle. It is still half. It may not look like it, but if you think about it, this part right here would be right here, and this part right here would be right here. That is why triangles are always divided by 2. Always. Always. So, the key is this. If you see a rectangle, you got to know the formula. If you see a triangle, you got to know it's the same but divided by 2. Okay? I'm going to show you how that works in just a minute. Oh, that'll do it. And listen, all it is each grade adds more shapes. So we'll add the trapezoid. That's kind of what we work with in 6th grade. 7th grade usually adds circles. And then your 8th grade starts adding more dimensional shapes. 3D and 4D and just weird shapes. Okay? But we start out with the basics. I'll be honest, you will use this all the way through high school. Okay? On Friday, these are the first 3 things you just got to give me in the right place. Okay? You got to give me A equals. You got to give me the right formula. Okay. Now, what it is we decided not to do the textbook page tonight. The textbook page we just didn't love once we looked at it. And Ms. Sawyer decided to make us a cleaner version of the notes or the textbook page or whatever. So this is going to serve, what I'm getting ready to hand you, as your notes and your homework. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, where we go? I'm going to teach you some of this. And it is your homework. So hopefully if you're getting it done and writing it down, you will have some of your homework. So, okay? Now, I would take notes, dude. You're going to be lost. fall asleep, I wake up. Please. One second. One second. Start out by right here. I gotta get copies. 1 second. Right there next to area of a triangle at the top. Please write the formula. I know I gotta get 4 more copies. Now that I've got my copies, here we go. Starting out with triangles. First, I am begging you, since we kind of changed our notes sheet, to right here write the formula next to area of triangles. It is for triangles, base times height, divided by 2. Every time. Every time. Like, that's that formula. I'm just trying to get you, like, it's kind of weird because notes, there's not many notes. I've already taught you what a base is and a height is. You know what a triangle is, so we just got to kind of put it together with the problems. Okay, now, starting out. Let's look at number 1. I'm going to make it a little bit larger. Okay. Number 1 has, like, the first thing it says is find the area of a triangle. If not, figure out what shape it is. Okay, triangle. They want area. I write the correct formula. Okay, this is where it gets kind of weird. I'm going to go down the paper. That's just the way I do it. I got to find the base and the height. Remembering that a base and a height are always at a 90-degree angle. Sometimes it's easier to find the height first and then find that base. And our height is usually what?
The line straight up.
Yeah, and usually on some of these worksheets, it is dotted. I'll just be honest, it's dotted. Okay, the base is going to be this line. Notice it's that perfect T. Okay, now we got to figure out the numbers that these cute boxes represent. Okay, base going top to bottom is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, my height is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got to count that one because it goes all the way to the end. So if you count across, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it goes all the way to that corner, so it's 8. Okay, but the formula for a triangle always has divided by 2. So what you're seeing is what we call a two-step equation. You, listen, hint from, as you go into Algebra World, you always do what's on top first. So, start out with the 6 times the 8, which is 48. Now, that is your new number. You just write 48. But you've got to keep the divided by 2 for a second. Okay, 48 divided by 2 is 24. You got it. Units squared. Because it is, we don't know the measurement, but area is always squared. Okay. Go to one. Let's do number 4. Look at number 4 down there. Just practicing a fraction problem. I don't know. Okay. I notice it's a triangle. They want the area, so I'm going to write the formula. Okay. What do you think the base is?
36.
Which one's usually on the dotted line, though?
height.
The height. So let's do 36 as the height, only because it's on this dotted line. And then the base is 41 and a half. Ooh, I'm running out of space. I'm trying, but it's not working. Okay. Divided by 2. It's a triangle. So 41 and a half times 36. Here we go. I'm going to start out. I'm trying to teach you these fractions. Here we go. So 41 ABC 1 ABC 2 times 36 equals. Ooh, we got a nice pretty whole number. Look at that. Now remember, that is the top number, and you have not divided by 2 yet. Okay, so divided by 2 equals 747. I have quite a few of you that didn't work it out on your calculator, and it's only like the second or third fraction problem we've done with that ABC button. I'll be honest, I'm begging you to try it. 747 feet squared. I kind of ran out of room. 747 feet squared. Okay, Go back, because something's probably wrong at the beginning math. So start out like every person in here. I wish you'd pick up the calculator and do 41 and a half.
There's that, I think I got it. Instead of just putting the 41 and half times 32, I did that and added the divide by 2. And then
Okay, now it's 36.
I know.
Okay. So did you do that part?
Yes.
Okay.
I did divided by 2.
Okay, if you can right here with this calculator do divided by 2 and hit equals, and you should still get 747. Okay, go back. I think you're multiplying like 41 ABC 1 ABC 2 times 36.
Now I got it.
Got it, divided by 2. And that, listen, I am not trying to be the meanie that's like, hold your calculator. But here's the thing, if y'all don't work out the issues before next Friday, and you walk up to me with that calculator and say, it gave me the wrong answer, I can't help you then.
I know what I did. I knew it was 36. I thought it was
32, yeah. You said 32, so that's what like, keep checking. That's the only reason I want you to practice. Honestly, that fraction button is awesome all the way through, 7th, 8th in high school. That ABC button? It's nice. Not gonna lie. I have no clue. I'll be honest. Half of them I don't know because we never use these. So I only know a few buttons that we use in 6th grade. We didn't have this. I don't know. Okay, number 5. Here is why I want to do number 5 or at least 5. Listen, it has the tricker. You just got to remember that a triangle only needs a base and a height. And that base and that height have to be an L, a perfect 90 degree. Which one is not a 90-degree angle?
25. I'm at 26.
Okay, slow down. I got these 3 numbers.
Oh, I was at number 6.
8 point. Yeah, I'm sorry. This one is the tricker.
I was at number 6.
I'm sorry. Yes, and that is right. That would also be the tricker. So you're going to want to do base times height divided by 2. Now, I'm actually going to go on just for time's sake. I want to seriously show you number 7 and 8. Base times height divided by 2 on those. Well, that one is kind of like these. I want to show you one of these missing dimensions on these because they're a 2-step. What it is saying right here So kind of look at the next section. It says, find the missing dimension in each triangle. So what that means is it is either missing a base or a height. And you got to figure out that missing base or height. These have 2 steps. You've never done these before. Here we go. So, do y'all see number 7 right there? Okay. What I'm going to do is kind of fold my paper over for my sake so we can kind of see it. Since they said it was a triangle, then what I'm going to do is start out by writing the formula for a triangle. Oops, there we go. So I started out by writing the formula. Now I'm going to fill in the missing, whatever they told me. I don't know. You've got to write this down. Okay. They gave me the area. Do y'all see where they have the areas? 245. Okay, so where A is, I'm going to put 245. They gave me the height is 14. And we're always dividing by 2. But what we don't know is the base. We don't know B. Okay. So you got it set up. Now we got to solve it. Okay. Now I want you to think about the steps of this triangle formula. What step do we always do last? Division of 2, right? So
We do it first.
we're going to do it first because we kind of do this problem backwards. We're trying to get way down here and tell me that B equals something.
Wait, huh?
Remember?
Do you want us to go all those?
No, not yet. Not yet. But that's our goal. Okay? So we got to get rid of these other numbers. So the first number you get rid of, because it's on the bottom and it would be the last step, is the divided by 2. Well, what's the opposite of divided by 2? Times 2. So, I'm going to do times 2 on both sides, because we learned what we do to one side, we do to the other. The side that matches, we kind of get to go away. And then what we have left is B times 14 on this side. I guess you could do parentheses. And on this side, we've got 245 times 2. 490. Okay. Now, B is still not by itself. So I got to get rid of that 14. Well, 14 up against B means times, multiply, right? So the opposite of times 14 is divide. You got it? So divide both sides by 14. Because you're getting rid of that times 14 by dividing. Okay? The 2 that match get to kind of go away. We are finally down to B all by itself. And 490 divided by 14, start at the top and go to the bottom, is 35. You got it. Listen, all it is they're combining algebra with area with geometry. It's all coming together. Okay? When you do the opposite math, it's kind of like doing the problem backwards. Okay? Fine, I just made a bunch. Let's do, in most classes I did 7. I'm going to kind of leave you with 8. But later, maybe you should watch the video. Let's go to number 11. You never know what I do when you people walk out of here. Okay, number 11. This is one like last night with the whole shaded area, but we're going to take out the middle. I want you to think about this. If the middle is white, we got to kind of rip that part out and throw it away. So we have first got to find the area of what I'm going to call the big rectangle And that would be all the everything. And then we got to find the area of the triangle, which is this part. And then we'll have to do a little more math because we got to get rid of the triangle. Okay? So, starting out, you got to start out by your mind saying, okay, this thing's a rectangle. So what formula should I use? A equals BH. Got to go back to yesterday's because it is a rectangle. Okay. Step 2, fill in the B and the H of that rectangle. 20 times 17 and a half. Okay. I use my handy dandy calculator. 20 times 17, ABC1, ABC2, 350. Okay, it is 350 inches squared. And that is literally just the big fat rectangle. Okay. Now, I got to do the math for the triangle. Okay, now what's the formula for a triangle? Divide by 2. So A equals B times H divided by 2. Okay, A equals, my base is 8 2/3. My height is, oh, it's 5. Be careful. Listen, I'm glad you said that because this is the dotted line. It does look like 15, but it's 5. That's just 5. And then triangles are always divided by 2. Okay, so doing the math, 8 ABC2, ABC3 times 5 is 43 1/3. But I still got to divide by 2, which is 21 2/3 inches squared. Whew, take some math there. So that is the triangle. I'm kind of stuck. I want to make a triangle there, but I can't. Now think about it. We got a big fat rectangle, and we're going to take out that middle part. Throw it away. What kind of math is that? Subtraction, right. We're going to take the big area of the rectangle, which is 350, minus 21 2/3. So 350 minus 21 ABC2 ABC3 equals 328 1/3, right? 328 1/3. And it would be inches squared because it's still area, it's just a weird area shape if you think about it. Because if you rip out that middle triangle, you don't have like a perfect little shape, guys. You got like this picture frame of weirdness. Seriously. Okay? That's interesting. Okay. Since we have an extra minute, I'm going to keep going. Let's do number 8. Okay? I'm going to go back up and do 8. Maybe I can fit 8 right here. I'll take that back. I think I'm going to do 8 on the other side of the back. Okay. Okay. 8 has a base of 27 and an area of 256.5. And they're talking triangles. So if I take 8 and I kind of think about that formula, That's my formula. Whoops. Okay. And they gave me a base of 27. Okay. And an area of 256.5. I want to make sure I copied that right. 256.5. Okay. And what we don't know is the height. The height is what is missing. It is our missing dimension. And triangles are always divided by 2. Okay. So we got to do our backwards math. We want h down here by itself. Let's get rid of the divided by 2 first. So the opposite is times 2, right? And what I do to one side, I do to the other. Okay, these 2 are the ones that disappear, so I got to do 2 times 256.5. I got 513. Okay. So is my 27H, is it finished yet? No. I got to get rid of a times 27. And the opposite is divide by 27, right? And what you do to one side, do to the other. H equaling, I got 19. So, Tara? Okay. 19, it is a boring measurement, so it is just centimeters. I had to look back at the picture, but just centimeters. Okay. Okay. What do you think your base is on 2? Like what? How many boxes?
3.
Now that is the height. Your base is across that. Whoa, stop. New day on this calculator thing. Base is 5. It doesn't matter. Okay, listen. Everybody stop. Okay, so the video, I'm going a little overboard. Ha-ha.
Yeah, I can tell.
It is. I started with going over the homework from last night, just because I had so many kids absent. And then in class just now, we did the ones that I've already shown in the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with number 2 now. Just kind of working it out. The whole key to math to me is just building confidence with some of these kids and getting them to know that they're doing what's right. So if I can help them, if anybody will watch this video, then I don't mind. Okay, so this is a triangle. So I think about my formula is A equals B times H divided by 2. Okay, I need to find my base and my height. Remember, base and height have got to form a T, a perfect 90. This is my height for sure because it's dotted and it has the L there. So my base is the top of it, okay, because that is helping form the T. That's just a way to kind of help you. Okay, now, so counting the base. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my base is 5. My height is 1, 2, 3. Divide by 2. Start out with doing the top. 5 times 3 is 15. And 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. And we got units squared. Since we don't know what they are, we just call them units. Okay. I just realized I put up my calculators. Okay. Number 3. Here we go. Let's see here. Now, so this one isn't too bad. This is number 3. Okay, I notice it's a triangle. Write the formula. Okay, this would be my base because this is my height. It would be, if you brought that line over, it would kind of be like right there. So that's why it's the height. It's also dotted, kind of helps. So base is 24.8 times the height of 16 divided by 2. Okay, I'm going to put it in my calculator. 24.8 times 16. I got 396.8 divide by 2. 198.4 centimeters squared. Okay, number 3 right there. Okay, I did number 4, and I talked about 5 and 6 earlier, but what I'm going to do is do 5 and 6. 5 and 6, there's 5, have that missing dimension. And what it is you're looking for the L, the perfect 90. So if this is my height, because it's kind of going up and down, think about it as this is the base. That is the trigger. Okay? Same thing on this one. I know they're in the same spot. I wish they weren't. But this is your height, and that is your base. Caught on my sweater. Okay. Now, let's number 5. So just finding the area. Base is 8, 2, 16, 2. Like 8 times 2 is 16. Divide by 2 is 8. Okay. Good so far? Okay. Okay. Number 6. I'll do this one. And guys, if you're using a worksheet or something, you can, whoops, almost forgot divided by 2. You can draw on these things. You can use colors, all that good stuff. Just don't write in the textbook. Please. Please, please, please. Okay. Take 24.6 times 7.3. I got 179.58. Now I'm going to hit divided by 2, and I get 89.79. Now, hint for my friends who listen to this video. When I do this, if it was a test, I would do it twice. So I clear it out now and just key it back in there. 24.6 times 7.3. Make sure I have that exact number. Divide by 2. Make sure I have that exact number. And that'll kind of help you to just check your work a little bit. Meters squared. Just kind of checking it using a calculator. Okay. 7 and 8 I did earlier. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to do 9. Okay. 9 is one of the ones that they have the missing dimension. What it is, like this is the one you're looking at, they gave you the area, and this 6 is this, which is the height. And the B is what we don't know, which is the base. Okay? So, first I write the formula. Okay. Now I'm going to fill in what I know. Okay, I know my area is 21. And I know my height is 6. But what I don't know is B.
Damaris Young, if you're in the building, please buzz the front office. Damaris Young, please buzz the front office or come to Ms. Speedy's office. Thank you.
Okay, so what I don't know is B. So what I've got to do, it's okay, I'm still videoing, I'm sorry. That's okay. Ooh, beautiful. Love it. All it is I've got it set up now, and I've got to think about my steps. If I was to work this out normally, the last thing to do would be divided by 2. You're fine. So the opposite of a divided by 2, if I want to get rid of this, because this is the best way to think of it. My whole goal is down here is to get B equals some. Okay? I got to get rid of everything with that B. So the first thing to get rid of is the divided by 2. So the opposite is times 2, right? So we're going to do times 2 on both sides. That's supposedly a 2 in this lovely pen. Okay, and what I do to one side, I got to do to the other. Okay, these get to disappear, and I'm kind of left with a B and a 6, or B times 6, and whatever 21 times 2 is, which is 42. Okay, well, it's kind of like I still got to get the B all by itself, and I got to times 6. So the opposite is the opposite of multiply? Division. So we're going to divide by 6 on both sides. These would turn into a 1, so we get rid of them. And 42 divided by 6 is 7. So we finally got B by itself. B is finally just 7 inches. Some of you guys love to check your work, and I love it when you check your work. I want you to think about this. If I took that formula, and this is like kind of overdoing it, but if you were taking a test and you wanted to check your work, okay? If I rewrote the formula, I'm just teaching my heart away, and it isn't recording, is it? Oh, I wonder if it stopped at an hour or something. Ugh. No, it says it's still recording. 2 minutes. It's not showing us the seconds. Okay, so you just realized that me and a student are sitting here just doing these math problems, and we thought the recording quit, but obviously it's still going. But I just want to show you, if you are a kid who loves to check your work, I thank you, and especially if it's test day, you have everything in here to check. So you've got the height is 6, because they told us that earlier. And down here, we said the base, we found out the base was 7. So if I put the 7 right there and divide by 2, okay, my area over here was 21. So think about doing the math on this side. 7 times 6, 42. Divide by 2 would be 21. This side's 21. And guess what? If they're equal, you have it right. You don't have to sit there and wonder, I wonder if I got that right or not. You just checked your own work. It's pretty cool. I don't know. Sometimes I can just kind of do more when, I don't know, I'm not rushed for time, I guess. Okay, I did number 11 earlier, so I'm going to do number 10 real quick. 10 is a lot like last night's, and I didn't get in class to go over the last 2 on last night's. So it's kind of a good review anyway of last night. On this number 10, if I can get it over lined up, there we go. Okay. They're wanting us to find the area of the shaded region, all this outside. We got to get rid of this, okay? We're going to start out with the big outside rectangle, just this part, the big outside part. And that rectangle, we got to start out by using the right formula, which is a rectangle. It is just that, because it's not a triangle. Okay. Base looks like it's 14. Height is 9. It is late in the day, so I'm doing it on a calculator. 126. Okay, so 126 is the yellow rectangle. Okay, now I'm going to do this middle square, which I know it's kind of silly. We kind of already know the answer, but okay, when I do this part in blue, this is the... Now, a square's formula is the same thing. Base times height. 5 times 5. And I realize this is easy, and it's 25. Okay. Now, I need to rip out the middle and throw it away. Subtract it. You got it. So it's 126 for the big rectangle minus 25. So it is 121 meters squared because it is an area. It's just the shaded area. Pretty cool. So right there, I'll be honest, I did all the homework problems. So if you missed one, I did them earlier. 7 and 8 I did earlier, and some of 1 and 2 I did earlier. So you could go back and kind of watch the video. These 3 formulas are there's 4 formulas on Friday. These are the first 3 that we got to know. Really, these are the same, but on Friday, the only part of the quiz is the 4 formulas. Just memorized. What are they? We write the word parallelogram, you give me that. We write the word triangle, you give me that. The only thing is, they're just mixed up. Triangle might be first. Okay? There's no math on Friday's quiz exactly. It's just the memorization of those 4 formulas. Cool? Okay, so good luck on finishing homework. Hopefully you did. Hopefully you fast forwarded and didn't watch this whole thing. Okay.